This is a historical moment, changing the paradigm and giving also more independence to our brothers in Pakistan, our brothers in Iran.
According to what is being changed in the problem itself. So that's what I think. The problem is that the financial system is not halal.
And not only of the global financial system, but also of the possibilities, where every Muslim could participate, with their wallets, buying crypto.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a historical moment. This panel, I believe, outside all the panels, is one of the most significant and important panels in the history of Pakistan, because in this historical moment we will hear about an Islamic Dao, a new coin, a new way of financing, a new way of actually changing, and maybe really as the dollar value, even though they are now pumping up, eventually it will crash. These type of new Islamic financial tools will be changing the paradigm and giving also more independence to our brothers in Pakistan, our brothers in Iran, in Turkey, in Malaysia, in Palestine, everywhere. With that, we have Brother Khurram Zuberi. Let's give him a strong round of applause. Brother Khurram Zuberi, for putting this since last night. The work has been continuing for a very long time. And my dear brother Waqar Ali, he is an amazing gentleman. Let's give him a strong round of applause. And with that, I'm starting the panel, inshallah. So, just initially, Brother Khurram, what do you think of Islamic Dao? What does it mean? What's the vision from your perspective? And I'll come directly to my brother Waqar as well. And first, for everyone, at a very basic level, what do you mean by Islamic Dao? And do you think this is a way of, changing the paradigm?
I think Waqar is going to actually take this question more so in the solution point of view. I'm going to actually focus on the problem. I love the problems. I really love the problems. And my message to all the entrepreneurs throughout the whole journey, love the problem. Because the moment you actually start focusing on the solution, you start loving the solution. And you can only focus on one thing. That's a limit human beings have. So if you start loving your solution, you're going to be focusing on solution, you're going to be building, you're going to be adding more features and all those kind of things. But ultimately, there's going to be a disconnect with the reality. And then when you focus on the problem is ever changing, because the world is changing, because the people are changing. And when you actually love the problem, you actually make the iteration of your product or the service according to what is being changed in the problem itself. So that's what I think. Now we have to understand on this particular point that we are moving into the world, and I'll just give one example, and I think that would answer the problem equation. My grandfather was really worried about. He had the double MA, English, Arabic, and I think Persian as well. He went to Aligarh University. He had taught tons of people. He had the problem, and in the last age, his hand was like this. His last two fingers couldn't actually work. So he was writing with these three fingers like that. And even then, his handwriting was amazing. I mean, literally, some of the handwriting actually licked. And imagine at that time when all the five fingers were there, it was amazing, amazing handwriting, as if that it was calligraphy when he was writing. He was really worried about my dad's handwriting because he was using a pen, ink pen. My dad was really worried about my handwriting because I was using a ballpoint pen. And I have a terrible handwriting. I haven't used the pen for the past 20 years anyway. So when this generational thing, you see the generational change is happening. So I was worried about my kids they're not going to have a good handwriting, but because of their keyboard. I'm not talking about like actually handwriting, I'm talking about writing skills, because that's what you start with. And they could not, it's all the time keyboard. Now that's my older kids. Now let me tell you about my younger kids. I wasn't worried about their handwriting. Forget, that is out of the equation anyway. I was worried about their keyboard skill, because they are all the time telling, Alexa, change the temperature upstairs to 70 degrees. Alexa, who was the 34th president of the United States? Alexa, how much is 10,568 into 3,568? And here comes Alexa. So the point is that you have to understand how the financial market, now change is not happening once in a generation, it's happening twice and thrice within the generation itself. And we are worried about that, the technology is going to take over, kids are spending too much time on the actual tablets and all those kind of things. Please grow up. This is the reality. And all you have to care about is how, go to the fundamental, go with the problem. So the problem is that the financial system is not halal. Simple. And there are 1.8 billion people, out of which I can guarantee there is going to be 300, 400, 500 million people who do want to live with those realities. They want to live by those belief systems. They want to live by those rules. Where do they go? They go to the sugar-coated banks and they try to get the Islamic mortgage, which is not Islamic mortgage, which is just sugar-coated in a way. 5 fatwas taken on that, stamped on it, and here you go. And they think in their heart that, okay, if those fatwas has been given, that is the similar case that you go to some Muslim brother and say, is this halal? And if Muslim brother says, yes, it is halal meat, you buy it. Now the sin is on that person. So they think that, okay, this is the bank is offering, all these people have actually put their stamps on it, and all of a sudden it's going to become halal. You look at the musharka model, you look at the mudaraba model, you look at ijara model, and if you look at those and look deep, that this is what Islam actually gives you, and people want to actually live by those rules, how our financial system should work. Now we are saying, and Waqar is going to shed more light on this, this is a very unique opportunity. We lost it about 100 years ago to their financial markets, and we are sort of like hostage to those financial markets. Our financial system cannot work. We go to the IMF every single time, they dictate their things, World Bank dictates their things. That's a global financial system. You are hostage.
Or you pay off your IMF debt like Turkey, and then they actually fight against you harder because they want to make you pay, basically.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wrap up on this point. Now it's a unique opportunity. Blockchain provides that framework through which we can revive those musharaka, ijara, all those models, mudarba models. So all those models, when they come in, then all of a sudden you have the, choice. The people do not have a choice right now because you have to work with the bank, and you're going to be dealing with the riba to begin with. So this model, and that's the reason we are going to launch, inshallah, Islamic Dao today.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So, Brother Waqar Ali Shah, I know this is your expertise. Tell us really what your vision is with the cryptocurrency you're going to launch, Islamic Dao that you will bring on the table, and what do you want to achieve?
Yes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this was born out of a study not only of the global financial system, but also of the possibilities that blockchain technology could entail and that could bring to the people of the world, but specifically to the Muslims of the world. And if you remember our conversations on Clubhouse before we met, and Khurram was there, Khurram, myself, you, we had a lot of discussions about Islamic finance and how the global financial order was slowly collapsing like a slow train wreck, and everybody seemed to realize the writing on the wall, but nobody had the courage to say it. That this is going to happen, and I think this was built. The failure was built into the system. At the end of the Bretton Woods system that was built in the 1940s, where the U.S. Sort of promoted a dual gold plus a fiat standard, where they pushed the US dollar into the global financial order. And then if you look at Pakistan, Pakistan currently has the worst inflation rate in the whole of Asia. It's the single worst performer inflation-wise. It's all, the data is all out there. Turkey, has been suffering, for many years of bad inflation, right? You know that as well as
It
I
was
do.
very high. Used to be 60, 70%.
Yes, yes, yes. And it just happened. It just happened that Brother Yavuz, Brother Khurram, and I, we used to meet on Clubhouse, and we used to have these lovely discussions about Islamic finance. And what could we done? What could be done, to sort of create a more equitable world, for the Muslims and for our countries. And then suddenly it just dawned one day. It just dawned upon us that why don't we create a decentralized autonomous organization, where every Muslim could participate, with their wallets, buying crypto, buying the Islamic token, but then buying that participation with their wallet and becoming part not only of the Ummah, but of a decentralized financial order that could govern, things like, marriage contracts, smart marriage contracts where the women could have the security in case if a woman was, God forbid, divorced, she would receive her meher automatically without going to a court. Just because if she did the contract initially on the Islamic Dao.
It is trackable all around the world.
Islamic token. And the inheritance, issues that plague the Muslims of the world today, right? Where, every fiqh has their own inheritance law. So you have to go to these specific clerics to, get your inheritance done and stuff. So if you put this on the blockchain under Islamic Dao, your inheritance is solved. All you need to do is just purchase Ether, put it on the Dao, and when you die, your kids automatically get it in the exact proportion that either you or your cleric, guarantees.
So during the divorce situation, God forbid, you're empowering women actually, and with the the heritage, you're clearing all the issues from the beginning.
Yes, so it's basically governance at a very grassroots level in the Islamic community. If you remember, ages ago, we were told that Islam is decentralized at its core because the relationship of the Muslim with God is a personal relationship, right? So it's very decentralized. Although you might argue that at some points clerics or certain clergy tend to centralize it in the mosque or in some areas. But through the Dao, we even have a plan to elect your local imam, for example. Your mosque
This
imam.
is very important.
With the amount of stake that you hold in the Dao, you can vote your local imam of your masjid, and then slowly that grassroots stake sort of builds further into a more community-based stake, and then finally into a global ummah stake, and finally we see an eventuality where the Islamic token could function as a global Islamic currency, with participation not only in the social fabric, but also in the Islamic financial systems and services such as Mudaraba, smart Mudaraba. So if you look at Mudaraba, it's the single biggest Islamic financial service in the world today. And through the Dao, if you purchase stake, you can crowdfund any Mudaraba project, right? And when profit occurs in that project that you fund, you automatically get your cut. You don't need to go and claim your profit through an accountant.
And you're able to project finance many projects through this system as well.
Yes, yes, and you don't need to actually go through an accountant to claim profit on an annual basis. You can get your profit on a weekly or even monthly basis, when you invest in a business through a DAO platform, a decentralized autonomous organization. It's a perfect match for a Mudaraba. We were just mind blown when we saw all these beautiful fits between blockchain technology and the way Muslim societies were structured, the way Islamic finance could be structured. So we thought it was a no-brainer to create a DAO and use our blockchain technology to create this governing and utility token called Islamic token that would govern the DAO. And therefore we decided, all three of us, that this should be, since it's an Islamic DAO, an Islamic decentralized autonomous organization, I think Pakistan and Turkey, as the most powerful and influential Muslim countries of the world, should become the founding members, the founding fathers, and the founding nations of the global Islamic order, the new Islamic order in the form of the DAO. And that's where we are today. And thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother. And this is a very historical moment, very special
moment.
Thank you. May Allah help all of us. And my only question is, do you have any special offer for brothers and sisters who are here today? What can they do to support this mission, and what can you offer them? Because they come from all over Pakistan, from all over different places. Do you have any offerings for them, or that you can think of?
Today, I think it's a bit of an early announcement of our plans.
Sure.
It's a prelude. But we have a form on our website, IslamicDao.com, that you can fill in preparation for the ICO. So just
So
leave
the
your details.
website is IslamicDao.com.
Yeah,
So we want everyone to go to IslamicDao.com and fill the form. Is that correct?
Yes, Islamic DAO.
DAO. Okay.
IslamicDao.com, and you can fill in that form, and then we will contact you when the ICO is ready, and you can purchase the Islamic token
Inshallah.
with your Ether. So this is Ethereum based.
Excellent.
If you have Ether, you can purchase. If you don't have Ether, go to Binance. Our Chinese friends have done the needful for us,
Absolutely.
and they, you can purchase Ether from there, and then use it to purchase the
Excellent.
DAO ICO.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure to be here, and it's a great pleasure to have you here.
You're honored to be.
That's
Honored to
amazing.
be. Thanks to
Amazing.
Hurram. Thanks to Hurram. And thanks to you,
And,
brother.
I just wanted to say something in terms of that you asked specifically what's the offer.
Exactly.
I think everybody has to understand that you are part of it. This is not something like in a conventional way. This is a decentralized, autonomous. So pay attention to it. So you see, decentralized is autonomous organization. So you are part of it. The moment you actually, one coin you get, you are part of it now. You have a voting rights, you have like all the rights, anybody in the organization. Don't think of it in a structure. So not many of you would be able to actually grasp the concept right now. I would urge you to go and Google it and read up on it. Just spend, I'm not saying like too many hours, just 2-3 hours. If you spend, watch some videos on the YouTube, you'll understand the concept what we are talking about here. So this is the shaking the whole system, and not just the financial system. It gives so much and so many solutions to all of our problems. The inheritance is the biggest problem. All the causes in our society, many of them are linked with the inheritance because your parents or their parents hasn't distributed the inheritance correctly. And that's how trickle down effect it is. And then ultimately you don't talk to your uncle, you don't talk to your papa, you don't talk to your chachu, you don't talk to, and the whole life goes by. And this is the reality. And we are giving you the solution. It's very simple. And what Waqar said is gonna, not just the inheritance, but the mahar. The mahar doesn't get distributed at the time, like God forbid, when the divorce happens. And and it's not just about the mahar, it's about the actual assets of the whatever you jointly actually built. If this is on Dao, all of it is taken care of. So this is going to be really, so you asked about the offer. So the offer is that if we see a value, any of you bringing into this, you'll get the tokens for free. You'll get the coins for free. And now what that value would be. I'll just give you one example. Not every single person walking on the street is the same. Everybody has got like a different weightage to it. Now Dao is going to bring this aspect also. Now my weightage is probably going to be a lot less than Brother Yavuz or like any other person. There's maybe another person who's actually serving here is going to have like a different kind of weightage. So you have your background, your education, your belief system, your journey, what field you were in, where did you perform, what expertise you have, how many years you have actually spent. This all can be dealt in the Dao. What we have used to is the one person, one vote system. So your vote is exactly the same, doesn't matter who has done the double PhD. Now this element, when you bring in your experience into it, of your Islamic finance, your agriculture, your tourism, your corporate sector, that is going to bring in the value. So it's going to give your personality a weightage, and accordingly we're going to give you the tokens for free on that. So
this is amazing. So you're giving out free because they are not outside the door, they are inside the door here, and they believe in the vision of Jumpstart Pakistan.
So in order to get that, you have to sign up this form, and if you are not going to do that later on, we have got the the back table. You can go there, put that on the computer, put your details. Right now it's just the details, your email address, your phone, your first name, last name, and that's it. And we're going to let you know once we do the ICO, and it's going to be distributed, and we're going to transfer over in your wallet. We're going to even do certain trainings as well. The people who are not actually acquainted with the whole system, that how the wallet is being created, what is the soft wallet, what is the hard wallet, how to create it, we'll set you up, and then you'll be able to transact through that wallet. That wallet is the key. There is nobody can actually take away that wallet from you if you take care of it, because those are just the keys. So all those kind of things, get used to it. This is the world you're going to be living in. Your kids not going to actually pull out 100 rupee from their pocket to pay for the candies. They're going to have the device which is going to touch on the system, and that's it. And at some point in time, their cufflinks is going to be touching the system. Their buttons on their thing is going to be touching the system. And at some point in time, that is not going to be necessary, because the moment you walk into the store, you pick up a bottle of water and you walk out of it, automatically it's going to be charged through your wallet. This is happening in the US already. Amazon Go is already offering that. There is no cash registers there. You just go, pick up a bottle of water from the rack, you walk out, and then you get a notification on your phone that there is $1 is being charged to your card. So wake up. The moment we actually get accustomed to, the earliest we do, and now the beauty is we are aligning this with the Islamic system. So that's it.
Well, Brother Khurram Zuberi, Brother Waqar Ali Shah. Brother Waqar, do you have anything else to say before we close the panel? This is a historical moment. I want to hold hands together, three of us, invite also Brother Amjad, and take a picture of this historic moment as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. So I just want to say that please do fill in the form. That is just in preparation for the ICO. We will reveal more details about the token economics, how the tokens will perform within the DAO, and how the token distribution will be done. And we will release our white paper, which will lay out in detail all the services, the technical details. Everything will be transparent and open. And I think this is it, I think after Bretton Woods, as everybody's anticipating the loss of the global financial order and anticipating the collapse of many currencies will go under. I think this is the right time in history to create history for the Muslim world by empowering them to the very roots of the belief and the very creed that the Muslims operate upon. And I think this is the time where we change the destiny of the Muslim world forever, and we just do away with inflation in the future. So inshallah, if Islamic token under the Dao becomes the global Islamic currency, inshallah, which it will, I think there will be no inflation at all, because it will be a deflationary asset. And I think that as many countries look to replace their currencies with Bitcoin and other existing less smart currencies, I think a time may come when people, even who are not Muslim, may appreciate all the the wonderful wonderful things that the Dao, Islamic Dao, has to offer, and may feel persuaded or cajoled into accepting a more Islamic order.
Inshallah, ya Rab.
Inshallah. And that would be the point where the Ummah really comes into its own, and we can see a situation where you will create your own OIC with your wallet.
Inshallah.
With your participation, you will
Bismillah.
create your own OIC.
Inshallah.
And do away with the dinosaurs of the world.
Brother
And,
Waqar Ali Shah, I ask Allah to give success, abundance, and an amazing unity for the Ummah with this Islamic Dao. And I would like to invite also our chairman, Amjad Parvez, to the here. And then let's rise together, hold our hands together for this historic moment, and say, Ya Rab, inshallah, give us success in this new cryptocurrency Islamic Dao. Ya Rab, make us, inshallah, very strong as one ummah. Ameen.